Hello everyone, welcome to Reader's Oak. Today we will be exploring a human resource topic, executive development, which is also known as management development. See, the main objective of any organization is to produce and provide goods or services to the customers in return for a profit. For this, the organization has some resources which are human, financial, material, technology, and information. These resources need to be combined in a proper proportion and then processed to convert them into finished goods or services. Now, the function of combining the resources and processing them is performed by managers through planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Hence, managers help the owners of the business to earn profits. They help the employees to earn fair wages and salaries and have a good quality of work life. Managers also help customers to get better quality goods or services at reasonable rates, and the government to earn taxes. They also help the society by improving the overall economy and the standard of living. So we can say that managers are corporate heroes because they fulfill their duties and responsibilities towards quite a lot of stakeholders. And for managers to be able to fulfill their duties and responsibilities properly, they need to keep improving and enhancing their skills. Now, this is done through executive or management development programs. In very simple words, if you understand what a management development program is, it is teaching managerial skills to managers like problem solving skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, decision making skills, supervisory skills, leadership skills, and so on. Now, let us see the definition of executive or management development. I have divided the definition into 4 points. The first point says that it is a planned, systematic, and continuous process of learning and growth. When we say planned, it means deciding in advance how, when, and for whom the program has to be conducted. It is a systematic program because whatever training that has to be imparted is divided into sequential modules so that desired learning takes place. And it is a continuous process because managers keep learning and developing managerial skills throughout their work life. The second point says by which managers develop their conceptual and analytical abilities to manage. Now, the term managers in this point clearly states that executive development is meant for managers, by which they develop their conceptual abilities. That means the ability to understand complex problems which the organization is either facing or might face in future and be able to develop creative and successful solutions. Analytical abilities mean the ability to break complex problems into smaller, simpler problems and arrange them in a logical sequence so that a bigger complex problem can be solved in a step by step manner. The next point says that it is not only participation in formal courses of instruction but also of actual job experience, which means managers learn through formal courses like a university course or a formal program conducted by the organization and also through job experience. The last point is that it is primarily concerned with improving the performance of managers by giving them stimulating opportunities for growth and development. Now, this point summarizes the above 3 points and states that the executive development is meant to improve the performance of managers by giving them opportunities to learn and grow. Now, let us see the difference between training and development. See, training is basically teaching employees technical skills, steps, procedures to perform their current job. They are taught how to use and handle tools, equipment, and machine used in their jobs. Whereas development is teaching managerial skills to executives such as problem solving skills, decision making skills, communication skills, human, supervisory, and leadership skills. Now let us see the differences point-wise. Training is meant for workers who perform actual operations, and development is meant for managers. Training tries to improve specific skills relating to a job, whereas development aims at improving the total personality of an individual. Training is a one-shot deal, whereas development is an ongoing process. The scope of training is on individual employees, whereas the scope of development is on the entire work group. Training tries to meet the current requirement of the job, whereas development aims to meet the future requirements of the job. Training is a reactive process and development is a proactive process. Let us now see the importance of development, or we can say executive development. Executive development helps managers to acquire knowledge, skills, and abilities known as KSAs to handle complex challenges of the business environment. Because this business environment is extremely dynamic due to constant changes in government policies, in the economy, in the taste and choice of consumers, and in technology. Now, managers need to stay prepared to see an opportunity in every challenge and use it to the advantage of the organization. Then, it helps the executives to understand and develop their own career goals in a planned way. It also makes managers useful, versatile, and productive for the organization. Executive development helps the managers to broaden their outlook. That means managers learn to take a holistic view of the organization and understand how a change introduced in one part of the organization will affect the rest of the organization. It also helps managers to understand their duties and responsibilities towards the organization. Our next subheading is Steps in the Organization of an EDP, where EDP stands for Executive Development Program. Now, an organization is a dynamic entity, which means it keeps changing, keeps evolving, and keeps expanding. For this, managers need to keep learning new skills to meet the changing requirements of the organization. For this purpose, a comprehensive executive development program is conducted to teach them new skills. See, a considerable amount of time, effort, and money is involved in holding such a program. So, a series of steps is followed to make sure that at the end of the program, desired learning on the part of managers takes place. The first step is analysis of organizational development needs, where a critical examination is carried out to find out how many and what type of managers would be required to meet the future needs of the organization. The second step is appraisal of present management talent, where a qualitative assessment of the existing managers is made so that it can be compared with the projected talent in the previous step, and then the gaps between the two can be identified. This also helps in deciding whether the future positions would be filled from within the organization or outside. In the next step, an inventory of management manpower is prepared where a list of managers is made along with the details of each manager, like his name, age, length of service, education, work experience, health record, psychological test results, and performance appraisal data. This helps in identifying strengths and weaknesses of each manager. Then, in the next step, a detailed plan for the executive development program is made. That is, what modules are to be taught, to whom, and by which technique they will be taught, are all decided in advance. After this, the actual program is established based on the plan, and the trainees go through the development program to learn required skills. In the last step, executive development program is evaluated to see if it has resulted in what was expected. For this, at the end of the program, various techniques are used to assess the success of the program, like opinion surveys, where trainees express their opinion about the program, or they may have to give a test or an interview, or they may be observed at the work post training to see if their performance has improved. There are many techniques which are used in an EDP to help managers acquire skills, which are in basket, case study, business games, role play, sensitivity training, behavioral modeling, coaching, understudy, conferences, lectures, and programmed instructions. The first method that we will discuss is in basket. In this, the participants are given a number of papers such as memoranda, reports, or emails that would typically cross a manager's desk. The participants are required to study the information given in these papers, arrange the papers in an order of importance, and make decisions for each task. They get immediate feedback on their decisions from their facilitator. The trainees are evaluated not only on the quality of their decisions but also on their ability to prioritize work. The next method is case study. A case study is a business problem which can be real or imaginary, presented to the trainee, generally in a written form, or can also be in the form of a short film. The trainee goes through the information given in the case and makes decisions. The instructor then discusses the decision taken with the trainee and points out its pros and cons. In this method, the trainees learn to make decisions within an allotted time period and with limited information. Coming to our next method, business games. In this, participants are divided into two or more groups, each group representing a rival hypothetical organization, and then they are given a business problem to solve. The participants are assigned corporate roles like the managing director, general manager, or a marketing executive. They then study the situation and make decisions affecting the price level, production volume, and inventory levels. Then the groups discuss the decisions of each other. The trainees also get immediate feedback on their performance from their instructor. Role play. In this method, a real or imaginary problem is presented to the participants, and the participants assume the roles of some corporate members like supervisors or marketing executives, and then make decisions by acting out their roles. For example, a trainee might be asked to play the role of a supervisor who is required to discipline an employee caught smoking in the plant against the rules. Now, the person playing the supervisor then proceeds to take action that he thinks appropriate. Whatever decision and action is taken is then discussed by the facilitator and other participants. The advantage of this method is that the participants learn by doing things and the immediate feedback helps in quick learning. The next is sensitivity training. In this method, a small group of 10 to 12 participants is formed, which is assisted by a professional behavioral scientist. This behavioral scientist creates an opportunity and environment for group members to express their ideas and feelings freely. There is no specified agenda. The group members discuss anything they feel like. This helps the participants to understand each other's behavior and accept each other as a part of their work group. It also helps in improving listening skills and developing mutual respect, and once back at work, they act more cooperatively with each other. In behavioral modeling, trainees watch films and videos in which there are model managers who demonstrate how to deal with a situation. The trainees then rehearse the behaviors shown by the models and then act out the desired behavior for similar situations. They receive a constructive feedback from their facilitators, and finally, they are encouraged to apply their new skills on their jobs. The next method, coaching, is an on the job development technique where the trainee is placed under a supervisor who teaches him job knowledge and skills. The trainer tells the trainee what he wants him to do and how it is to be done while the actual job is being performed, and keeps giving immediate feedback. Apart from the routine work, the supervisor also gives the trainee a chance to participate in decision making to help him learn how to deal with some complex problems. The next method, understudy, is also an on the job development technique. An understudy is a person who is being trained by his superior so that he can take up his position at a future time. The superior delegates a portion of his workload to the understudy, and this way he learns the work of his superior while performing the job. The superior also involves him in decision making by discussing with him daily operating problems. This helps the understudy to get trained in every aspect of his superior's job. The conference method. A conference is a meeting of a small group of people where matters of common interests are discussed. The leader of the group identifies and defines the problem, guides the discussion, and in the end summarizes the views of the participants. The participants are expected to come prepared for the conference. Hence, the participants learn in two ways. First, while preparing for the conference, and second, by listening to the views of others at the conference. Lectures. A lecture is a formal presentation of a topic generally given in the form of a talk by an experienced person, but case studies, videos, or short films are also used to impart training through lectures. In this method, a large group of trainees can be addressed at a time, but it is considered to be less participative due to mostly one-way communication. The last method that is discussed here is programmed instructions. In this, the learning material is organized into sequential modules. The trainee goes through the material and clears each module by answering the questions at the end of the module and moves to the next level. But this method requires a lot of self-motivation due to the absence of a physical instructor, and it is also considered to be expensive and time-consuming. I hope you learned something interesting in this lesson. Until next time, have a great day.